The Battle of Actium, the decisive naval clash that changed history. The Battle of Actium, 31 BC, is one of the most important turning points in history, a naval confrontation that marked the end of the Roman Republic and heralded the dawn of the Roman Empire. This monumental clash of fleets was not only a military event, but also a moment shaped by personal rivalries, political ambitions, and grand strategy. By delving into the events leading up to the battle, the confrontation itself, and its aftermath, we unravel how this historic event profoundly shaped the course of history. In the aftermath of Julius Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, Rome spiraled into chaos as rival factions vied for supremacy. The fragile truce between the Second Triumvirate, Octavian, Mark Antony, and Lepidus, crumbled under the weight of ambition and mistrust. Mark Antony's alignment with Cleopatra VII, the powerful queen of Egypt, only deepened the fissures. At the heart of the conflict was the rivalry between two men, Octavian and Mark Antony. Octavian, Julius Caesar's adopted heir, was a calculating and ruthless leader who sought to consolidate power under his authority. On the other hand, Antony, a celebrated general and former ally of Caesar, aimed to carve out a dominant role for himself by combining Roman and Egyptian power. Cleopatra was not merely a partner to Mark Antony, but a political force in her own right. Her vast wealth, naval resources, and ambition to safeguard Egypt's autonomy made her an indispensable ally to Antony. Yet, her involvement also provided Octavian with a potent narrative to brand the conflict as a defense of Rome against foreign interference. The Battle of Actium was more than a clash of two fleets. It was a contest for the future of the Mediterranean world. Antony and Cleopatra sought to create a Roman-Egyptian power bloc, while Octavian aimed to consolidate control under a unified Roman state. The battle's outcome would determine not just the fate of these factions, but the course of Roman governance for centuries to come. Throughout 32 BC, the rival forces jockeyed for position, culminating in the decisive confrontation near Actium, Greece. Octavian's forces, under the naval command of Agrippa, focused on cutting off Antony's supply lines. By contrast, Antony and Cleopatra amassed a formidable fleet, but faced logistical challenges due to mistrust and dwindling resources. Naval strength was crucial in the Battle of Actium. Both sides fielded large fleets, but with distinct differences. Octavian's ships, smaller and more maneuverable, were designed for agility and speed. Antony's larger warships were powerful, but cumbersome. This contrast in naval technology and tactics would play a significant role in shaping the battle's outcome. Octavian's strength lay in meticulous planning. Under the command of Agrippa, his fleet effectively disrupted Antony's supply lines early on, weakening his opponent before the confrontation even began. Additionally, Octavian's forces maintained higher morale, bolstered by the confidence that they fought not only for Rome, but for its survival. Mark Antony's position was far more precarious. Though his fleet was large and powerful, it was poorly supplied and strained by logistical challenges. Cleopatra's presence, while strategically valuable, created division among his troops, who questioned her influence. Nevertheless, Antony pinned his hopes on decisively shattering Octavian's blockade, using sheer strength and direct confrontation. On September 2nd, 31 BC, the battle began. Octavian's fleet, commanded by Agrippa, utilized a formation that capitalized on their smaller vessels' maneuverability. Antony attempted to break the blockade, but his ships struggled to keep pace with Agrippa's agile tactics. As the battle raged, Cleopatra's fleet abruptly retreated, possibly pre-planned or driven by the chaos. Distracted by this withdrawal, Antony's forces faltered, and his remaining fleet was overwhelmed. Antony's strategic errors and reliance on Cleopatra's navy proved disastrous. The retreat of Cleopatra's forces shattered Antony's cohesion and morale. In contrast, Octavian's fleet, disciplined and unified, maintained the upper hand throughout. Antony's decision to pursue Cleopatra during her retreat sealed his defeat, leaving his scattered forces leaderless and vulnerable. The Battle of Actium's aftermath was swift and decisive. Antony and Cleopatra fled to Alexandria, their hopes rapidly diminishing. Back in Rome, Octavian used the victory to assert his dominance, declaring himself the savior of Roman traditions. Cornered in Egypt, Antony and Cleopatra's story ended in tragedy. Antony, disheartened and abandoned, took his own life. Cleopatra followed, famously ending her life to avoid capture by Octavian. With Antony and Cleopatra defeated, Octavian returned to Rome to solidify his rule. He was granted the title Augustus, becoming the first emperor of Rome. His victory at Actium and the consolidation of power ended centuries of republican governance and ushered in the era of the Roman Empire. The transition from republic to empire reshaped Rome's governance, military, and society. Augustus implemented significant reforms, stabilizing Rome after decades of civil strife. Actium's legacy was cemented as the moment that laid the foundation for centuries of imperial rule. The Battle of Actium's impact extended far beyond Rome. It marked the end of Hellenistic dominance and the integration of Egypt into the Roman world. The battle's resolution restructured the political landscape of the Mediterranean, ensuring Roman supremacy for generations. As one of history's most famous battles, Actium has been immortalized in art, literature, and popular imagination. Stories of Antony and Cleopatra, blending romance and tragedy, have captured hearts for centuries, while Augustus's rise from Actium cemented him as one of Rome's greatest leaders. Even today, the Battle of Actium continues to fascinate, reminding us of the enduring interplay between love, power, and history.